Hello everyone, this is Blender Guppy. So in this video I'm going to use Random Starship and then apply the one of the shaders in the new shading feature in Random Flow to shade the result of the Random Starship add-on. So let's start, but first I'm going to activate the screencast keys. Okay, uh, the Random Starship add-on, you can find the operator in the add menu, Shift A, and in Mesh in the Random Starship operator. So uh, just like any other object in Blender, it gets added to the position of the 3D cursor. Okay, so let's just use the world origin, cursor to world origin, and then create the starship. So I'm going to use wing sharp. I'm going to probably I'm going to create another or modify one of the existing uh, presets in this add-on. So first I'm going to reduce edge counts to 1. So edge counts refers to the random cut that each hull will be receiving. You can see that. And you can play with the seed. So the it will be randomized on which hull section the cuts will be added. But I'm just going to use 0 for now, so there's no added edge cut for each hull section. So origin mode, dynamic and static. With dynamic, when you use the hull seed, you can see that the origin of the body of the starship moves when you play around with the random seed. So basically, the see the orange dot there. That is the origin of the starship. So if you use the static, it will always be just in the back section like that. So it's up to you. With dynamic, the origin half section can have varying sizes, whereas in static, it can always be pretty big like that. But you can change the size, I think, the scale of the house section. Wait a minute. House section uniform scale. No, that's not it. So I think this is this scale. Yeah, you're gonna affect the scale of the starting house section with this, but this also affects the rest of the model. So just watch out for that. So let's shift dynamic in this instance, and the bump, without the bump, it'll be just be um, like that without any extrusions, random extrusions. So the bump actually introduces random extrusions like that. And you can play around with the seed. So if we max this out, you can see the actual result of this. So the bump come or can offset from edges. You can see this. It offsets from from an edge, and it can offset from a face, or it can offset from both an edge or a face. Okay, and there's the offset seed. That's not it. This is the bump seed to randomize its position. Okay, let's just use the face. Actually, wait, wait, 15. Okay, then adjust the face. Okay. We're playing around with the health seed. Don't use too high subdivision because it can be pretty slow because you're dealing with a lot more faces. So with the primary shapes in mind, you can just use 0 or 1 to play around with the primary shapes. And then when you're ready to when you're ready for the detail, you can just increase the subdivision. Then you can play around with the plating section. So for this plating, I will just increase this to 1000 and adjacent faces, clear. With clear, you'd have more rest areas in your model depending on the min-max size of the plating insets. But with fill, it will fill everything or use every quad in the model to create the panel detail. So let's just fill, even offset to get rid of any of the geometric spikes. And let's see. Okay, let's reduce the value of the subdivision to 1. Okay, let's just play around with the top sections first. Okay, so bevel segment, we can use 3. So the bevel segment is the, you can see here, it's um, how best to show this. Okay, and get rid of the plating. I'm going to show you how it looks like without the, there we go. So this shape here is the bevel profile. There we go. And this is the bevel segment count. So it's kind of like this cube. So this is the whole section, and this is 1 bevel, and this is 2 bevel. Okay, let's repeat that, 2 bevel, and then the shape. So there we go. So yeah, that is the basis of the whole section. And then from this, all the other details are generated from the random bumps, then the wing offsets, and the subdivision. We introduce the plating insets. Random flow has that feature as an operator, which is the plate insets. So this is the same algorithm used by the Random Starship to create those details. Okay, let's go back here and let's pick a the big shapes first, and then we can start detailing it. So front and back. Bridge tolerance is how much of the topology um, will be used to actually create the bridge. So X depth like that. Okay, the bridge tolerance is based on normals. So basically, if we increase this bridge tolerance, more faces will be included as the from the will be included in the extrusion. So expand. So one section, two section will be extruded. So let's just use number 3, and we have also smoothing, front back smoothing. So you can also extrude from the front using the expand button here. and then expand it. You can see, there we go. So let's just use 0 in this instance. You can also switch the front of the ship, positive Y or negative Y. I think I may have, this is actually the front in Blender. Yeah, there we go. One. Yeah, I'll change that in the update. This is negative Y is the front in Blender. So the add-on is actually facing the wrong way. It's supposed to be this way, not this way. Okay. But for this video, let's just use the old school taper in the back, the Z taper on the back. There we go. So it tapers those shapes. And then this part here, there's a smoothing function here. So one for the front, and we can also use smoothing at the back. There we go. And from this base, we can perform the randomization. But before we increase the plating, let's just deal with the wings. So in the update, the main wings and winglets will be renamed from large and then small. So this is the large section and this is the small. Because the winglets in the real world is not really pertaining to the small wings. It's kind of like the tiny wings, a tiny extrusion in the airplane wings to create more lift using shorter wings. So those are the winglets. So it's not the proper term for this. So I'll just use large and then small. So main wings. If we use 0, you can see the effect. Those are the, so these are the large wings. And we are using 4 at the moment, so let's just use 5 and let us deal with the depth value. In the next update, I may introduce uniform uniform value lacking for the some of the min max values here. So meaning that you can toggle an icon and it will no longer use randomization. You can just use a single value for the property. Okay, so let's, it's point 1 here and this is point 2. Let's introduce, so we can also use margin. This is wing taper and wing smooth. The smoothing, let's use point 1. Point 1. Wing rotation. Wing rotation only activates if you increase the number of the wings, the extrusion of the wings, I mean. So, and also edge cuts increases the subdivision of the wing. If we decrease this, you can see the topology being added. There we go. So I'm just going to use 1. And then, where is the wing count? Wing length. Oh, the wing length. And if we increase the wing rotation, something like 45 degrees, there we go. Then we can randomize the, actually that is supposed to stay, but whatever, what's happening? Oh, that's the wing seed. It's, it's different. I have no seed for the rotation. Okay, my bad. So you can create something like this. Really weird spaceships. You can. I actually was able to create like insectoid looking spaceships, but that's for another video. For this one, let's just create a normal looking one. So wing length just 1. Set this back to 1. Okay. Wing counts, and then we have winglets. Winglets, yeah, the small wings in the update. So main wings is large. So what should I use? Big? Yeah, just large. Wings large, and then this is small. Winglets will be small. Okay, so this only appears when you have increased subdivision. See? And we have a view limit here, and this means that a number of base subdivision cuts for wings to appear. So you can see in subdivision level 1, there is no wing or small wings, but subdivision level 2, there is already the wings have already appeared. So that is the purpose of this, to make playing around with subdivision and randomizing patterns much faster by setting a view limit here. So if for example I want this to only appear at subdivision level 3, then this appears at subdivision level 2, and it will, if I increase the subdivision property in the hull section, then the wings will start to appear. Okay, so you can play around with the big shapes without being bothered by those extra geometry. Okay, let's set this to 2, and wing limit non-sharp. So that's, I forgot how this works. None. There's no limit. Oh, it will avoid the sharp means that it will avoid extruding from faces that has edges that are sharp, meaning that the transition between transition between the two faces of that edge are sharp. It's kind of like from a cube. So this is it. And none, meaning that there's no limit. Let's just use none for now. Okay, let's increase the plating back. So if we increase the plating, we get the detail, but it's gonna be slower playing around with the subdivision. So let's just use subdivision level 1, and then manage the look of the plating. So control, let's use minimum of 4, tolerance value of 1. So this is normal. This refers to the face normal, which means that the face island can wrap around a sharp corner to create or to expand itself. So this is the example of a face island here, or a plate inset. If we have increased tolerance, then you can see that uh, some of the plate insets or face islands can wrap around a sharp corner. So that's the purpose of this. Let's just use tolerance of 1 and thickness. So the next update, you can lock and unlock the uniform thickness for this. So if we have you can use uniform value or unlock this, and you can use min max, which will randomize between the minimum and maximum value in this property. So let's just use uniform value 0.03. And for this one, the depth, I'm going to use random values, min max. Okay, so for the max, negative 0.004. Oh no, negative 0.04 and negative 0.02. I mean positive 0.02. And in the minimum, negative 0.02. And then just play around with the values here. And also auto smooth, let's set this to 30 degrees. Triangulation is 30 degrees. You can see that the topology changed. The triangulation property can also change the look of the geometry. So 30 degrees triangulation and quantify those triangulated faces at 30 degrees also. And let's see, 45 for the auto smooth or 90. There we go. We're going to create a smoother spaceship. So smooth, there are two smooth here. The smoothing for the subdivision, and there is a smoothing also for the hull. These are different kinds of smoothing. So this smooth here is when you use subdivision, and this is the hull smooth is a separate smoothing property, which also smooths the entire model. So point two, but you can see zero hull smooth. If you use the subdivision smoothing, the model can become really bloated or puffed out. So that's the effect of the subdivision smoothing. But with hull smooth, it will just smooth out the entire surface without bloating of the model. So point to here and then point to here. Okay, and let's increase the subdivision. Okay, play around with the seed value. Actually, let's increase this to negative 0.04 and then 0.04, just to make the extrusions a bit sharper. And you can choose the or select a different smoothing for this. So none and base and then top. So what this means is none means that there's no uh, the model is just using normal auto smooth, but with base the the bottom part or uh, the details that are embossed uh, or going to the mesh is the one that is sharp, and the top plates or the top faces in the plates are the one that is smooth. And with the top option, the top plates or the top faces of the plate insets are the one that is sharp, and the faces that are going into the mesh or the embossed faces are the ones that are smooth. So with this, let's just use base. Okay, and okay, bevel segment. Let's use 4. So normally I just use 2, but for playing around with uh, more intricate shapes, I can just increase this. So scale interval means that for every, so if I use a scale interval of 1, for every one hull section, uh, there will be a random scaling. But for example, scale interval of 2, for every 2 hull section, there will be a random scaling. Okay, so if you want each hull section to be scaled for each seed, you can just set this to 1. So as you increase this, the more the hull section can have a uniform scale. Okay, let's play around with the seed. Sometimes if you get the if you get the what do you call this, the settings just right, you can practically be spending minutes on the random seed because everything just looks good. It's weird. think we have one on the. All we need to do is pick one that looks good, or depending on your taste, of course. I'm just looking for something that looks cool for me. Maybe there's too much. Let's use point 0.4. Probably using too much bump. That looks. I wonder if it's is that small wings? Okay, I think wing area minimum wing area for it to be extruded. 0.01. We need it to be smaller. I think making this larger will make this things disappear. It's 0.5. Zero. Okay. Minimum wing area. I think I should make this. Yeah, I'll change the parameter later. Minimum wing area. So this base is based on area. I should make it based on the longest edge. Okay. Not on the area of the faces itself. Okay. 0.05. Okay. It's good. So that's something to do. So that's oh my god. That's a really quick oh my god. That's actually a pretty quick update, so don't worry, it won't delay the update. Where's the okay, here we go. Increasing the subdivision, of course, decreases the size of the wings. 0.02. There you go. Oh my god. More. I think that's good. Let's go back. Use maximum of 5 to make it less busy. Okay, we can try with this one. Um, Using the plate insets. Oh, let's try and make this look better. The thickness 0.01. There we go. So let's use something like points. Oh, let's randomize this to 0.00. Is that 0.01? 0.01, 0.05. Okay. 0.01, 0.005 to 0.01. So those are, if you randomize this, the difference between each size is small, but I think eventually be, it will actually matter in some distance shots. Front, back. Okay, we can also randomize the plating and not affect the shape using the plating seed. Yeah, I should change the wing later. The way it's like that. Actually, it's actually good. Okay, let's try it with this one. And if you go to edit mode, everything is quad. Okay, you can just because and it'll be easier to you to for you to manually just manually edit this and add your own detail or subtract from this detail or basically add or subtract from this detail. And I'm just gonna save this as Starship 01. Okay, I'm going to you can see that this already has seams, so you can just unwrap this and then edit the result, cut some of this contiguous UV island. You can cut it out and break it apart more efficiently. But for this, we're just going to since in this video, if I include the UV process, the manual UV process, it'll take too much time. So I'll just use the cube projection or smart UV project. Okay, let's go to shading. But first, we need to create a random color for this. Sharp. We don't need to use the mark sharp since the Random Starship add-on already marks sharp the resulting edges. 30 vertex color, third only. Okay, and then we can append the shaders using random flow. Shading, append materials, appended 5 materials. Powerful metal, glass cylinder, panel hot, separate cloth. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to use panel soft. Bring it here. Quick and easy lighting using HDRI. Okay. So this is the initial. Going to add the vertex color here. Get rid of that. So by default, the shaders will be using the RGB node, and it's up to you to add the vertex color. Be sure to activate node Wrangler, the node Wrangler add-on. It comes built in with Blender, so you can just activate that, and then you will have this menu right here, attributes, and then you can select the vertex color created by the random vertex color operator in random flow. Connect the color to the A input node of the mix factor node shader, mix factor shader node. Then let's see, unwrap. Okay, so the default UV needs a lot of work, so you can use textiles for that. But at the same time, I'm just going to use. Let's try our smart UV project and, and try to see if there's any twisting. So the shader, the texture, I used JS placement before, but even before I've already read the its license, so you're not supposed to use it for commercial stuff. So I removed it and replaced it with a texture that I baked using random flow, and this is the result. So I think it's really good. And this is the random panel hard, and this is soft. Okay, I see this part is it does obey the flow of the faces, but we can make it straight. So go to UV and select these faces. What is that thing there? Go to render, and you can straighten it out like that. But I think the way it looks now is cool. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, so the so I've connected it to from the last video. I've connected the quick dirt, the cavity mask. Yeah, quick dirt, cavity mask, and scratches to the bump and then to the bevel. Okay, and it's the same for our panels, our flow panel hard and our flow metal. It uses the same structure, and it also uses the lights shader node from this very add-on Random Starship. Oh, okay. But the strength is set to 0. You have to increase this and then play around with this. So basically, the outer scale is the big square, and the inner scale is the small square. And if I use Node Wrangler to view this, so those big squares are the outer scale, and the small squares are the inner scale. So the offset, I mean the offset is to randomize their position. The factor is of course their intensity or their strength. So and then couple that with the factor of the inner squares or inner scale. You create those tiny dots, and you can randomize their position using the offset for the outer scale or the offset in the inner scale. There you go. I think this looks good. The random funnel soft looks really good for spaceships. I'm going to try and find the transparent. There we go. So Random Starship unfortunately doesn't make the exhaust. You have to model that in yourself. And let's see. Let's just do a quick one. There's a double here. Yeah, I think we can get rid of zero faces using cleanup here. Let's just use the cleanup button. Mesh, clean up, degenerate, dissolve, and let's use 0.0005 to get rid of the zero area faces, but I think it removed more than that. So let's just do it manually. There we go. And inset this, just a quick exhaust. Materials, vertex color. Do not use vertex color and use this as exhaust. And emission for the so just a basic representation of the raster. Actually, if you think about it, in the uh, sci in the supposedly futuristic world, you actually don't need the thruster because you have the um, anti-grav drive inside, and that's already generating the thrust that you need. You don't need to use like fossil fuel anymore to propel your ship forward. Okay, so that's the. So what do you think about the shader? Do you think it's good? Let's just create a quick building here. Try out the merge with destructive. So these presets will be in the update as well. And on the vertex color, sharp, mark sharp, and let's see. Uh, let's try the same material here. Our flow panel soft. Let's try the hard. That looks good for buildings. The texture images are in 4K and in JPEG format, so they're pretty sharp but also lighter. Eh, really cool. Let's put the light here of the image of the. Let's put the light of the exhaust here. Oh my god, no. Assign material exhaust. So when it looks good on different lightings, you know that the the shading really looks good. So now you can use this as backdrop models for your scene, and they will look believable. And that's the purpose of this random add-ons to quickly give you concept art pieces you can populate your scenes. So you have more time to focus on the highlights of your scene, like the characters, and then you can just spend less time modeling the background assets and still come up with a quality result. Okay, so yeah, and uh, yeah, the winglets issue earlier, I will change that, and also the update is very close. The update is very close, so keep an eye out on your emails. Let's see. Let's do a flyby. Okay. In every angle, it still looks uh, convincing. Okay, so this is it for this video. If you have any questions, use the comment section or the links in the description. Subscribe and hit notify. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.